Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a reading for you. I'm going to start with the Wild Unknown archetype, and I pulled the Threshold. And this is an interesting card. This is really about you being at the gateway of an initiation into an entirely new reality. This is about leaving behind a version of yourself that has already felt well-formed, familiar, something you've built up to be this responsible, integrated persona of capability and experience, wisdom, caution, hard work. And this is asking you to leave that behind, which, as a Capricorn, as much as I am working towards this, it is hard to leave behind a persona that is so roundly recognized and depended upon in the world. But it also indicates that this transformation that you've been experiencing for some considerable time. Remember, Pluto just left Capricorn at the end of last year. And so you have been through the underworld. You have been at the bottom of an experience of loss, deprivation, destruction, having everything stripped away from you and having to find that core of self to climb back out of this hole, the hole that you created in whatever way that existed or you experienced it over the past couple of decades. And of course, this depends on your age to some extent, but for many of you, you've lived a full life as your still current for most of us, but soon to be former life with an outdated, irrelevant form of perception or way of perceiving a reality that just does not make sense anymore. It does not align with your experience or your values. So this initiation doesn't always just feel like a portal or a gateway to the top of the stairs or into the upper room. It doesn't feel that way. What it feels like is the ground underneath you is crumbling. Everything that's been familiar to you, that you've depended upon, is slowly eroding underneath your feet. And so this is about a whole level of trust and belief in the principles you say you live by, the belief in a different world than the one that we accept as the normative social experience. So this is really an opportunity for you to recognize that you don't have to do anything but focus on taking one step towards the future that is calling you. And to a large degree, even if this initiation is not entirely voluntary or doesn't feel voluntary, you've opened yourself up to this. You have manifested this to some degree. So there's a kind of spark that is colliding, more like a thunderbolt, that is this future and this wish fulfillment, this goal realized, this new experience of reality, because we're talking about the 3D world, the world we all must navigate. And from the Crystal Spirit Oracle, I've gotten the Lepidolite. And this really feels so perfect with this stone. So this particular card, the Threshold, because as exciting as life altering as this threshold, the crossing of this threshold is. This is challenging so much about what has been familiar to you. Even the patterns and the behaviors that you recognize of your own that have been blocking you, they're still the devil you know. And surrendering those at any level is stressful because it's about the unknown. And no matter how we feel or sense into our ultimate service or purpose, we navigate through what we know, and our ability to open up to higher guidance, intervention, wisdom that we may have accumulated over lifetimes. Certainly, our ancestors perhaps have paved the way for you to be in the position in you're in now. But the sense of being lost and overwhelmed, which is one I think that is probably familiar with many of you, perhaps for months, perhaps for longer, perhaps for a shorter period of time. But this is a kind of stress that you can actively mitigate against by slowing down. Slowing down and moving at your own pace. It's interesting that earth signs, particularly Capricorn, is often accused of being slow, laborious, painstaking, and this is where this energy really is serving you. So that you, instead of trying to do everything, because this is also telling me you're probably going through a lot of motions, following through on a lot of obligations and responsibilities you are weary of, you're overwhelmed by, and you, being a well-oiled machine, just keep chipping away at responsibilities and obligations that give you no respite. And this is saying if you prioritize those obligations and responsibilities and really focus on not allowing yourself to be distracted by the mountains of work you feel that you face on a daily basis, if you let yourself really just do one task at a time based on a simple system, a simplified system of priorities, your courage, your confidence, your ability to feel clear about your commitments will begin to return and begin to heal. So simplification is coming out of this for sure, because again, sort of similar to Virgo, I feel like stepping up to responsibilities, being willing to be held to account, has backfired on you in many ways. And you're really asking yourself, you need to ask yourself, what of these obligations are really mine? Which of these are essential to my life moving forward, to my progress? And which of these is something someone else can do, someone else needs to do? Really look at what you're busy doing. And I suspect a lot of it has to do with the way that you have navigated your life until now. And there's this recognition that you're moving into a more liminal opportunity in this transformation into a new reality. In the present, the Nine of Cups, this is beautiful. There's so much that you don't know or cannot rationally understand about your experiences in this time. However, this is showing me that many of you have developed a meditation practice, a self-care regime, a process of interrogating your own well-being on a regular basis. It has become a habit, and this is how you learn to feel good about what you're choosing to include in your life. So this feels like it's relevant to the idea of simplifying your life. The idea that you don't have to choose everything. You don't have to do everything. You can really allow your intuitive intelligence to uh, do a lot of the work for you. What things value you, what things support you, those are the things you want to invest in. Those are the things you want to be responsible to. And yet, just the mere practice of consulting with self, not the self that is ambitious necessarily, but the self that wants to be sure that the choices you make are done in a way that benefits you. So we can choose hard things, but understand that they're things that we aspire to because they benefit us. They teach us more about who we are. They make us more available to serve others. And this whole process of prioritizing your self-care and those things that support you back is key in your world, in this new reality. This is steering you in this moment. And it's beautiful energy. In fact, I feel like you find so much gratification and contentment in this self-care process that you have been cultivating for some time, that you encounter intricate miracles in your experience of your daily life in a way that you have perhaps overlooked them in the past. And this is very key to dealing with the stress of so many choices that are available to us. In the past, the Ace of Staffs, this is the Ace of Wands. This is like this new spiritual path, this new lifestyle that you have set upon. And it feels like a big divergence from what you've done in the past. It feels more aligned with creativity, spirituality, giving voice to your creative expression, being in greater attunement with the things that inspire you in the world, privileging relaxation, and that relaxation brings you exhilaration, excitement, eagerness to try new things, to play and have fun. Boy, that feels like a thing that has been missing from your life for a little while here. In this ambition to move yourself and your projects, perhaps your life, to a different place, a different vibrational alliance that requires greater trust and faith in yourself. In the future, the 10 of Jades, this is about your legacy. This is about recognizing, particularly for those of you that are very well experienced or have a great diversity of experiences, that you are have experienced a tremendous amount of privilege, and that privilege has been access to opportunities for comfort, for stability, for growth, for expansion, for information, for learning. These are all things that you recognize, whether you've achieved your goals or not, that the opportunity to be able to partake in a world of knowledge and potential beauty, productivity, is something that you can help others to gain access to as well. This is about generating abundance. So it isn't just about getting abundance, it's about generating it. So your abundance of information, knowledge, or experience can help others to gather those things for themselves. If this reading is resonating for you, Capricorn, please like this reading and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I so greatly appreciate you being here and supporting me in the ways that you do. Thank you for that. I'm going to clarify the Ace of Staffs in the past. So there's the Queen of Fire and the Eight of Water. And I'm going to go ahead and pull cards for the Nine of Cups in the present with the Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands, and the Ten of Jades in the future with the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Wands. Wow. So I have to say for sure that this transformation you're experiencing into this new lifestyle, this new way of living, this new way of experiencing the world is a work in progress. So there is no finite start or finish to this. However, there is an end goal for you, and that end goal is the contribution you can make to your community. In the past, you began this almost unadulterated pursuit of your own creative expression. There is a creative gift you have that you have harbored for a long time. This is something you are likely to have experienced in significant ways in the past. But this particular gift is one that you have finally turned towards as you've exhausted all of your familiar relationships in terms of what you can learn, how you can grow, how you can be productive. So the environment you've been in, or even the environment you may still be in, has become not challenging to you. It doesn't offer you the kind of meaning that you are hungry and thirsty for. You are aspiring to something higher, to something more. You recognize that there is more intelligence, consciousness out in the world, and you really want to capture some of that. This is an opportunity to grow this creative expression, whatever that is. It can be in any field of opportunity. Creativity is just about the way that you do something in a way that marks it as yours and yours uniquely so. For some of you, this is about artistic talent that you have in some way or another. But you're finally moving forward towards some very significant challenge, something that brings your life meaning, something that stamps your legacy, how you want to be thought of by those in the future. And so in the present, this beautiful Nine of Cups is clarified by your desire to collaborate. So I see you far from being an island, being isolated, even in your confusion or your sense of being lost. I see you as being very much a part of a community, part of a team, in relationship with your neighbors, friends, loved ones. It's as though you understand that the way to activate your creative expression is by working with others, by taking up the responsibility that you so willingly step up to in almost any setting, really carving out just your piece of that. And this is again about prioritizing your responsibilities so that you only need to do what you only need to do. You don't need to do it all. You don't need to lead the charge. You really do need to interrogate what piece of this collective work is mine, and how can I do that in a way that helps me to align myself with others who have some experience that aligns with mine, where we share the same goals. Collaboration is the key for you. And I think this is interesting because you've come out of a social system where the hierarchy of authority was so thoroughly ingrained in you. And for some of you, you were excluded from the way that hierarchy looked. Or you can have just always felt a need to control your world in a way that has been greatly altered and shifted by this new level of awareness you are thirsting for, you're moving into. And that is around not trusting yourself so that you trust your associations. You've learned to clarify what it is you want, something that you had to teach yourself to do because you were trained to take care of the needs and desires of others. So there is a lot that you're activating that is healing this former experience of reality that you are manifesting in a new way. And it really centers around relationships and community and ways that we support one another in the future. So the Ten of Jades, this beautiful legacy, this opportunity to give back, to understand how much you have and how much you have to share with others regarding how they too can gain access to the information, resources, skills that you've developed. Is this, again, the Ace of Fire and the Ace of Staffs are a repeat. You're taking your own desire to find meaning in your life, to make a contribution to others, to assist others in some way to a new higher level. This is almost like institutionalizing, developing a course, being a new department, writing a book, contributing something that actually shapes organizations and institutions regarding ways to create and amplify the participation of individuals in the group. You have been working at this very same and singular effort wherever you've been. And if your history is long, you have never quite accomplished that goal. You've thrown your heart into it, but you have been blocked often by others, often as you've come to realize by yourself. And this is you realizing that you now have the key that you didn't have before. The key is that self-honesty, that choosing things that feel good, retraining yourself to not attend to things that are judging you as insufficient, but things that recognize your value as you are and are willing to invest in you, as you are willing to invest in those things that support you, that see you. But this is a process you've learned to negotiate with yourself and with others. You work systematically, simply one step, one task at a time. And this time, your determination is going to yield you the success that you desire. This is such a powerful reading, Capricorn. I hope it's been insightful for you. This is what I have for you today. Until next time, namaste.